he was the trustees person yet. Oh, let's see.
Oop.
Hi, you
Hi,
guys.
guys. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Well, I shouldn't be doing the talking. It should be Dana.
No, I'm like running. Hey, run it, Andrew. Hold on. Let me
Well,
see here. I'm going to get this full screen now. I have some serious tea. So the people that are late to this party are going to be really regretting it, but we're recording it too.
oh
So
yeah, we have some really great tea, you guys. And like, I'm sorry, we're really gonna hit the gambit today on like everything. Like, me and Dana were talking, and like, you guys are so lucky. Like, we should be like, we are living in an age where we have such great access to all such great tea. I was just thinking about
I
that,
think so too. I do. Okay, so you guys, here's what we're going to do. The first thing I wanted to start off with is just to say thanks to some people really quick. Mima is random, Oliver Orston, Fluffy, Allison, 1958 Vintage One, Chicken Head PK Neely, all super stickered me. And you know what they did? They didn't even ask to post anything. They just sent me stickers, which was like so generous and nice. It meant so much to me. One person actually like gave a ridiculously high donation to me, and I was like honored. I'm like, it was like so beautiful. I'm just saying, okay? So I wanted to say thanks to those people from last week. I don't really understand how this all works yet. I'm working on it. Okay. So I told Andrew to just let me unload and unpack the stuff that I want to say first. And then I'm going to get my booze out and we're going to break into the reunion. But before we do that, I have some stuff I need to say that's really important. And this has to do with Lala Kent and Randall Emmett, okay? And I know that's not related to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion part 2, which we will do. But I wanted to, before I get drunk, talk about it. Okay. So because it's a sensitive topic. And so I want you guys to know that there was a reason that I didn't post about Randall Emmett cheating on Lala Kent. You probably thought that was really odd, right? Because I always post gossip. But I'm very conscious to post gossip that I believe has been validated properly and is true. You'll notice I hold back sometimes on what I post because I want to see if it's like real or if it's just bullshit, people trying to get like, hits or whatever. So I really pride myself on my research and my gossip, and I try to present you guys with really sensational shit, but real shit, okay? So what happened was, when that girl Gans, who I respect greatly, she's an amazing researcher, gossip person. She does great stuff. She's super entertaining. She posted the 2 pictures of the girls walking with Randall. They weren't holding hands or anything. They were walking into a hotel room at one point, and they were walking into the hotel itself in Nashville, Tennessee, at the Thompson Hotel. And I said to myself, that's weird. Okay. It's a little weird. I don't like it. But I was like, it's not exactly like he's making out or there's like some crazy shit. And why haven't these girls who he supposedly hooked up with come out? Like, if you really want to come for someone, you go, I fucked him. I made out with him. Look at it. Ready? Woo, here. Like, I did it. Nobody was doing that. It bothered me. So you guys may not know this, but Randall and I came up in Hollywood together, okay? And the picture that was posted by some funny, I don't know who posted it. It was like Northwest something. They posted a picture of me and Randall from like 2008. And they were saying this is his new girlfriend, which was me like 20 years ago. Okay, so that's the first thing. So I just want to set the record straight that the blonde girl that they were saying was his new girlfriend was me like 20 years ago. And in addition to that picture was taken in like 2008 when I was doing a gifting suite in Cannes, and Randall came with 50 Cent. And that's because we worked for the same production company, him and I. So Randall and I haven't always had a good time, okay? Like, we hated each other for a while. I want you to also know that. So I'd be the first person to post nasty shit because him and I fought. We had it out. He owed me $5,000 for like 10 years, and I was pissed.
I know.
Okay. And I came for him like publicly. I was like, you owe me $5,000, you loser. Why'd you make me chase it? Okay. And then Randall got reached out to through Heather McDonald, because I had been on her show and she's friends with him too. And she said, listen, you should really pay Dana back, which I really appreciate from Heather to this day. Randall was like, you're right, I should. And he took care of it, and he did 10 years later. Okay. So I really respected that. He didn't have to, certainly. And I'm nobody. He's way more important than I am. So then what happened was I see these pictures. And of course, the first thing I do is I reach out to Randall, because I don't want to post something that is like going to ruin someone's family without knowing his position on it. So I asked him, like, hey, did you cheat? What's going on? So Randall basically said that he absolutely did not cheat. He went to a party with some friends and he was drinking, and he's not used to the Bravo celebrity bullshit. He's not used to people like up on, all around him taking photos and stuff like that. And he realized that it had bad optics, and he was really like felt badly about it. And I was like, well, listen, I think, you need to correct this and you need to like fix it. And he's like, we're working on it. And I said, well, is Lala left you because she's in a hotel and, people are starting to say that she left you? And he was like, no, I got her that hotel room so she could be with her really good friends who were in town. And she probably needed a break. She's pissed, and rightfully so.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I get it. And I think it's really, you guys, have a new baby and you need to just love each other and figure this out. And you've got to be more conscious now that you're in Vanderpump Rules land, that, fans are coming for you. And you can't be looking like you're doing something that you're not doing. You have to really look like you're not doing it. And so he said, yeah, and we're working on it, and we're recording our podcast on Friday, the day it broke. He was still reporting the podcast with her, and they were going to come out with their story that they went to tell. Now, she deleted his pictures. She's done that before. Okay. She never left home. She's been there. She went out to a hotel to be with her friends that he paid for. Randall, realizes he's a little tone deaf, and they're figuring it out. But the where this went 0 to 60 was like insane in the 2 days. And she's definitely pissed, as she should be. But I don't think the relationship's over. And I don't think he cheated. I don't know. And I know that in the past, supposedly he cheated with Lala on his first wife, Amber. But my gut intuition is that that's not what went down here. I will say this, okay? He's from a time period. All of us came up in Hollywood together. We partied our asses off. We all party hard. Even me to this day. You've seen me. Like, I can bring it. Okay. I'm like a million years old, and I can like drink like 9 bottles of wine. No problem. Okay. So I definitely could see where, he might be desensitized and make some bad decisions, but I don't think it had to do with cheating. I don't think it went there. I think it was just drinking and partying. So it's just my vibe. That's just what I think. And I think that, hopefully they work it out because they have a brand new baby. Okay. So that I just wanted to say was the case. And I felt like I should say something today. I wasn't gonna, because they're going to, but I felt like I should say something because people started using my picture as his new girlfriend. Oh, yeah. And that I was like somehow associated with him and I dated him 20 years ago. None of that happened. That's all bullshit. I never dated Randall Emmett. Never. Okay. In fact, Randall Emmett stayed on my mega yacht and he ditched his room, which is why he owed me money. And I was pissed. I came for him. Like, I went to his office and I was like, where's the money? Okay. So anyway, that's the truth. And I like gossip, but I like gossip with validation. So that's that. And I unpacked that. Let's see what you guys are saying. Okay. So some of the people said that they don't think that he would admit if he was cheating. And I agree with you. Who the fuck would, right?
Yeah.
But I think in this particular instance, I think that it was blown out of proportion. A picture of someone at a party is not cheating.
It's not a Kim K and Ray J tape.
Where are these girls? They came for him so hard with girl gans on their DMs, but they're not going to come out publicly. Come on. Where's the picture? You taking his picture of his ass from a million miles away, but you're not going to take a picture of you making out with him? I'd be like here with the video camera. I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, seriously. Okay, they're saying they love you. Let me bring some of these.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Hold on, this one. I love you guys. I can't have nonsense, like it really upset me that so many periodicals like just ran with it like fact, like it's over.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she's deleted his picture before. Oh, Callie, Steve, I have something to tell you. Oh my God, it's not a PR stunt. I asked that question too. I said straight up, is this about a book? He's like, no, she's pissed. But it's not about a book. This has just happened. And I know that's, maybe they'll spin it that way later. I mean, imagine if they were that genius, but no, it's not. No, this went down very honestly. Believe me, he wouldn't have taken my call. He took my call because he knew I was going to talk about it. I was going to be like, I was like, you got to tell me because I'm about to say everything.
Yeah.
And I know you. So, and he was like, okay, here's what happened,
Rapid fire.
But we are. Sorry, Frida. We will get to the reunion. Okay, so let me, Callie, Steve. So really quickly, I want to tell you that Callie, Steve brought up a point about the Girardi Keys PPP loan, which was taken out in 2020 for 2.5 million or 1.5?
For 1.5, actually, which we talked about, I believe in our last podcast episode we did together, we talked about a ton of PPP loans. And if you guys, it's on Dana's Patreon. If you guys have not listened, please go listen because there's like a ton of
Dana. It's fun. But Callie, Steve said to me, Dana, you need to be careful because in Q1 2019 was when he would have been, Tom Girardi would have been evaluated for that 2020 loan, not in 2020, because I thought it was really strange that Girardi Keys got this loan when he's like going broke and obviously is already having financial problems. Yeah. But I wanted to tell you, Callie, Steve, that I reached out to one of my Housewife and the Hustler cast members and I asked her how many attorneys he had in Q1 of 2019. And she said he had 22. Now, the application that was filed that he got the 1.5 million on said 82 attorneys, I believe, or 84, something around that, wasn't it, Andrew?
Yeah. Which, and by the way, in law firm numbers, that's an insane amount of attorneys, by the way. Like, I just want to put that out there. Oh, thank you
Super
so much.
sticker. I love those.
Thank you so much. But yeah, like that's 84. That's like insane. But yeah, the amount was 1.5 and it was issued and then it was later resolved, which we now learned that the loan was forgiven, which I think is even more telling. Like and the fact that there were so many Bravo celebrities who took out so much money. I mean, quite frankly, Miss Lisa Vanderpump she took out like millions of dollars in her restaurants. And we see how many people were on these applicable loans and especially Tom, and we looked, and then me and Dana spent time actually looking for any of the other companies. We couldn't, yeah.
Sorry, no. She didn't pass.
No.
She was there for like 2 days. Okay.
We looked for so many other things, but yeah.
I want to say something about that. So I just want you to know, Callie, Steve, I did verify that he inflated that application. If indeed it was 82 or 84 attorneys, as I understand it, he inflated it by 60 attorneys that he said work for the company to get more money. So I really hope that Ronald Richards or whomever and the trustee is looking into that and going to do an audit because I think he committed fraud. Okay, moving on.
All right.
Speculation, whatever. Not really. Okay. I have one more thing and then we're going to the reunion. I got a Patreon request and the Patreon request was about Puppygate really quick. They wanted to know if in the new book, Not All Diamonds Are Rosé.
And Rosé, yeah.
Yeah, that they're basically, somebody was saying that a producer was saying that Lisa Vanderpump leaked the press story about the dog. Yeah. And Puppygate, they call it. And I just wanted to throw out there to answer her question. She asked for my thoughts. I wanted to say that a good friend of mine who you guys all know, David Yonta from Behind the Velvet Rope, had John Blizzard on his podcast. And John Blizzard said that it wasn't and he was the one involved with Teddy Mellencamp and this whole thing on the show. He said that actually it was John Sessa. And John Sessa, who actually still works for Vanderpump Dogs, was hated Dorit in real life. And he wanted to comfort Dorit, because he found out that Dorit legitimately put a dog in a kill shelter. And he is like still with Vanderpump. Like that's not some BS character thing. Like that's his belief thing, Vanderpump Dogs. He's actually the executive director. And so he was so pissed that he wanted to come for her. And so John Sessa told John Blizzard to go ahead and leak it to the press. And in fact, it's rumored that Lisa Vanderpump then behind closed doors, not on camera, freaked out at John Sessa and was like angry with him and was like, how dare you do this shit? And then they, I guess, came to some resolution because he still works for her. But that's what John Blizzard said. The truth was. Yeah. There it is.
And then before we get into the reunion, there's just one thing I wanted to talk about. So this is like a major, major drama, you guys. And I know this is like major tea, I want to say really quickly. So I was doing research, and if like I live in Washington, D.C., it's like the political capital of the world. People make, faux political promises all the time. But what we see, like, and so at an event in about 2015, I was a Hillary for president campaign, that it was a fundraising event. Now, please, this is non-political. This is not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to say anything about former 2016 presidential candidates. I am just saying this is what was said at a campaign, like fundraising gala event. These events, I mean, Dana, I'm sure you've attended a couple, their dinner parties, and Bill Clinton was there and Tom Girardi was there. And Bill Clinton said to Tom Girardi, when Hillary gets the presidency, she'll make you a judge in the Supreme Court, or a title you'll be very happy with, because he was donating so much money in politics that, I mean, that it truly was that he was making big contributions to these presidential campaigns. And that I honestly think that Tom probably would have seen a position of power if someone became president in 2016.
So he was going to get a seat, maybe doing something then, Tom. Yeah. Can you imagine Erica? Erica is like the head of like the Supreme Court guy.
Oh my God.
What the hell? What has happened?
You got Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Scalia, and then it's just like, okay, guys, wow. Tom, who's your wife again? Oh, it's that reality star. Oh, she has a song. What's it called? How many F's do I give an expensive? What? Like, I just imagine the conversations that would ensue,
All right. So I'm like looking at the comments while I'm listening to you as well. It's like a lot happening.
I know.
All right. So go ahead, Andrew. Tell me now. I've unpacked what I needed to.
Yes. You vented. Yes.
And now I want to hear what you thought about the reunion. I'm going to open my rosé and do it.
Let me just say this. I mean, do I have an opinion? I hate the fact they're literally plugging American Woman. We finally figured out why this reunion is 4 parts, because they're plugging Halloween Kills every 25 minutes or something that one of these women are doing. Because, like, I swear to God, like, this is product placement at its finest. And you're right, Callie, he would not have been approved by the Senate. But, like, yeah.
I just put up random comments, you guys, while we're talking.
And, like, I mean, they're literally making these women's acting careers, like, and Garcelle has a legitimate one. I will put it that way. Garcelle absolutely has a legitimate career. Kyle, I'm so sorry. Kyle, I love you dearly. My God, no, you don't. Like, a couple child's acting roles, I mean, that's equivalent to being on, like, the Disney Channel nowadays. Like, I mean, I don't care anymore. And, like, we're there, and I hear this sap story about Kathy and her sister, and I mean, sure, we care about that. No, we don't. And then there's the whole Erica thing.
I thought that, can we stop and ponder that for a moment? Because did anyone else feel like that was a strange reaction? Like, she just really, like, couldn't talk about her mom at all. Big Kathy. Big Kathy is what the mom's name is. Yeah, just for people who don't know. But, like, why do you think that was so troubling to her?
Well, and I think me and you were talking about this a couple other times ago. well, a couple, one time we were talking about just how Kathy struggles the line between being like a wasp and, being in that upper crust in society that, the ladies who lunch. And then I feel like she's also the other days where she has very humble origins. And I think her mother is a pinnacle of maybe those, I don't want to say blue collar origins, but, just maybe less Hilton origins, you could say, if that makes sense. So, and I just think she's not trying to forget her mother. She's just trying not to, fully acknowledge her mother's past. And I think American Woman was just kind of like putting the Hilton's real life all out on display, and where they really came from.
Yeah, I found, I mean, I think she relied so much on her mom, and her mom made, basically was, a casting agent. And I think she sort of casted Kathy into our marriage. And I think Kathy really feels so was very codependent on her mom.
Yeah. And I mean, let me just put this that way. I've absolutely enjoyed Kathy Hilton on the season. I think it's very good. But like, I just feel that like, Kathy, be honest with your relationship with your mother. Like, I think because she wants to come back. And I think like being on reality television means you're kind of required to have some sort of relationship with your parent. You need to have something, whether it's good, bad, ugly. You can't just say, I don't want to talk about it. Like Erica says every 5 minutes on this episode. My God.
You look at you have a big fan.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. I know. Lily, I see you in the comment section all the time. I like make sure I like your comments whenever you're on my YouTube. But yes, oh my goodness. But yeah, this episode.
We're all your fans, Andrew. We love you.
I know, and I love you.
I love you.
But yes.
Okay,
what
so
else happened in this reunion?
Okay. So you want me to take you through it, and you could comment because I have. Let's see.
No, I remember. Okay, let me just start.
Okay, how about Erica cheating? Let's talk about Erica.
Oh yeah, let's start with the beginning. Okay.
Tom, yeah, let's start from the beginning. Why not? It's fun.
My question is, and this is like if you're another like Real Housewives fan, like whenever she was talking about like the boobs, like the first thing I thought was Vicky Gunvalson, like flashing everyone, and I was like, wow, that's what I thought of. Like, what if Tom was cheating on Erica with Vicky Gunvalson? Because but I know that definitely isn't going to happen. But like that's where my first thought was as Bravo fan. And then I was just thinking about that. And I mean, of course, Erica cheated on him. Like, let's be honest. I'm sorry. She's really going to, because what? The divorce isn't finalized yet. Of course, she's not going to say, oh, yes, I never screwed with anybody around. I didn't screw a gardener. No, of course you did. You aren't going to say that because your divorce isn't finished yet. You still, like, there's still so much stuff. Like, 4 years down the road when the man's 6 feet under, you're probably going to say something,
I thought it was interesting the way she said it. She said, I didn't cheat until I left or I filed for divorce. But why would that be cheating if you're filed for divorce? It was almost like she changed her mind midsection. Like she almost said, I cheated. And then she was like, I mean, after my divorce. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I don't believe, okay, and I'm going to be honest. If Erica cheated, I don't believe it was with anybody famous. All right, I want to put that out there. Not with her
Yeah, go ahead.
It was not her like dance partner. It was not any of those people. I think it was probably like literally with a gardener or like.
No, it was the casino guy. That's why he paid for the jet. That's a Vegas jet. That's a casino jet.
No, I'm talking about like at the beginning of their marriage. I'm gonna be talking about like at the beginning of their marriage.
Oh, okay.
Not like now. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I think it's the Vegas guy.
The gardener.
Yeah.
The gardener. That's so like 90210 1980s plot point.
Yeah. Oh my God. Did you see Renee was kissing the gardener? Oh no.
Okay. Yeah, she totally paused. Exactly. So he supposedly, I want to bring up another thing to everybody on here. He had she said he had 3 women. And of the 3 women, he said she confronted him about 2, and 1 she found out on the day that she was leaving, and she got sent on his phone, on his flip phone, her tits. And then she said, I don't know what, nice tits, bitch, or some crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but
something a psychopath would
Does
say,
that
yeah.
sound like that possibly did not really happen to anybody?
I was literally thinking about this and I was like, the plausibility of all of this, like, this didn't happen. Literally on the day she left, we're really gonna say that, like, oh, this was really the tipping point over the edge. She knew that he was cheating, but oh my God, because the way it was sounding like
No,
because
but
the way
wait,
it was,
wait. Just let me ask you this, Andrew.
yeah,
Just hear me out. He supposedly has Alzheimer's, but there's some woman sending him pictures of her tits.
right?
I mean,
And
I'm
then
sorry, but like, I don't know a lot of like really sexual, seriously Alzheimer people. Like,
right,
I'm so confused. And then she said that the red underwear was a Valentine's present to someone who was probably not her. That was when he had Alzheimer's too. So is he just like lost his
no, and
mind
I
and
want to
fucking
talk about
everything, or what's happening? Excuse my
And I want
language.
to talk about the lingerie for a second because the first thing is, of course she didn't see it because it was The Office. Can I tell you, honest to God, what I think it is? Like what I really think it is. I think it was just in the office, like just so in case he forgot an anniversary. Because I know many guys who they have like diamond tennis bracelets in their office desk drawers, or like in this case, it was like $600 lingerie pieces that like in case they ever forgot a birthday or an I screwed up present that this is what it was, you know? That's what I truly think it was because I think Tom was that kind of man that he was always, you know, bring a bottle of champagne for the clients. I think that's who he was as a person. That I don't think this was going to be given to a mistress, and it was also in Erica's size. I would like to point out because that was glossed over at the reunion. That
Really? Wait, stop,
Andy never.
slow down. I love it. Sorry, I had to. It's so
No,
funny.
I know.
Sorry.
Andy, yeah, like she's a medium, the size is a medium. I was literally looking at this and I'm like, I swear to God, like you're gonna gloss over the fact that it's the same size. Like just I feel like that was such a key point to gloss over. Like, I don't
I
know, maybe
really
I'm thinking,
appreciate you for calling that out because I know you studied the auction because you like got stuff, didn't you?
yeah, I did. I got referee jerseys.
I
Yeah,
remember you telling me that. I'm so
yeah.
proud of you.
I know. We raised money for those victims, everyone. But yeah, and
So
I
yeah,
was
and what do you think about, do you believe her that she actually gave all of her paychecks from the show to Tom Girardi's banking?
no, no, I don't. Point blank simple, no, I don't. And I don't think anyone should. Because if you believe that that woman wholeheartedly, that woman sings about how much she loves cold hard cash. She loves it more than like anything in this world. I mean, that woman could just be happy with a stack of money. You really think that she's gonna hand over her check like that easily? Like, I swear to God. Ah,
Yeah, I think that sounded like nonsense to me because let's be clear, they would have made it out in her name, the check, Erica Jardy, or her company name,
yeah,
right? In order for him to then cash it, he would have had to have the company's bank account, which we know there wasn't one. So I have a feeling they made it out to her personally. And
yeah,
then maybe she deposited in a community bank account, but she said she had no bank account. So I'm really trying to get how somebody, like, there's no way Bravo, just take it from me, wrote a
yeah.
check to Tom Girardi to pay Erica Jane Girardi her money. Like,
There we
that
go.
doesn't
That's
happen.
point blank. Point blank, that
Does
is
not
what it is.
happen.
Yeah.
So, I
So
mean, I right there, I'm like, that's BS. And so it may be in our company name, they might consider it, but I even doubt that.
yeah.
And, you know, and there was no banking supposedly with EJ Global. So then I don't get it. So something stinks.
Yep. And then also, if you notice how she said later in the episode, she said, well, you know, have a rental, you bought a Range Rover, you're still buying clothes. Like, obviously, like, where are you getting this stuff from? And she's like, well, I'm not at liberty to say that right now, but I did it with completely unethical means. That means you took the money that you've been making from this damn show, that every single check you've ever cashed at an event, dance club, wherever you were singing on whatever little washed up gay bar you were singing at, like, that went somewhere. And that went
Yes,
to the account.
you're right. And you know what, Andrew? You're so right. She's got a bank account that we're not knowing about. I feel it. I just feel it.
Right? Wow. Like, oh my God. It just, I can't. Like, and you're right. Renee, well, I hope I'm saying your name right. Sorry. She's a horrible actress. That's why she plays
Rena,
Ed,
Rena.
Rena. Rena. I'm sorry, I'm really terrible with names. Rena, because she played a dead corpse on Law and Order, and there, I watched that episode. I paid for that episode, everybody, so I could watch that little clip, and she was moving. She's not even a good dead actress. So like, as we see her, she's like, "Oh my God, I had like no idea. All my money went to this man. I'm not at liberty to say." Yes, you are. You can say a lot more than you're saying. You're playing dumb and defended, so
No,
you
but
can
then
have a case.
yeah, and she said, she goes, "Oh, everyone's afraid of Tom, even the person I had diagnose him." But then I'm thinking to myself, didn't you just pull that card like at Sutton? You were like, he's not dead yet. He's got Alzheimer's. He's nuts, but he's not dead yet, so he will litigate. I mean, so like, I'm like, it's like pick? Is he competent or isn't he? Is he like
Is
a
he going to sue
stud, or
someone?
is
Is he
he
not?
like an elderly man who can't put his pants on? Which is it? Who is he? Is
Pick
he
a
Rico
side.
Suave, or is he?
Like, I mean, the way this woman is just like the way this woman's describing him, he's the strongest, most fierce man I've ever met, but he's also completely illiterate and he shouldn't even, he can barely put together building blocks. Like,
Exactly. It's true. I know, it's so funny.
I will
Oh
stand by
God.
this man relentlessly until I won't. Like, I swear to God,
No,
what is
you're
this
so
woman
right.
doing?
No, it's so true. There's so many contradictions, which is why it's just nobody can get, you want to feel bad, but then you're like, I can't. It's just so absurd. She said she had no knowledge of the liability. So, hi, love New Zealand. Very, very good looking people in New Zealand.
I'm like, okay, let's quickly, that brings up a good point. Like, and I just want to like, I'll let you go off on that, but then I'll pick up something afterwards. But yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying was, she said that there was no knowledge. She had no knowledge of the liability. She said that she knew that Tom was having problems, but she didn't think the ship was sinking. So somehow she felt like the ship in its entirety wasn't, but Tom was screwed. I don't know how that's possible when she's made it really clear that Tom is everything. So if Tom is having problems, then the ship is sinking, right? There's no like separating Tom from the ship. I don't know. I was really confused by that. I mean, we know she was served up to 2 years prior about financial problems with Tom. So we do know that she knew. I wish Andy had asked that like more directly. Like,
Yeah.
it's public information. Like, why didn't he say, but you were served in 2019? Like, you knew it.
And,
why?
yeah. And like, I've got a couple things I want to talk about this really quickly. So
Okay.
I was talking to a very good lawyer friend, actually, who's a family law attorney, actually in California. She's actually like a really good attorney. Her name's Kelly Chang Rika. She's really smart. She's ton of stuff about like Hollywood divorces. And I was asking her about this, and she's like, she absolutely knew because it's community property in that state. When she got married, if she got married without a prenup, she should have known that this was to come down the road. Because also in California, and like when she said at any given point in time in California where you got married, unless the marriage certificate was in a car that rolled down a hill 5 times as well, that like, and you guys got married there, you guys got married in California. It's a community property state. You're entitled for 50%, even if you like, because you don't have a prenup. So at any given point in time, you could have left. You were entitled to your 50%. A judge would have given you it. He would have thrown the book at Tom for not trying to do it. Because at that point, then you could have turned it over to any other judge, any attorney general's office and say, hey, this judge is obviously showing favor to my husband. That's not fair. And that's not a trial that's fair.
She could have, what do you mean? She could have whistleblown. She could have gone, Tom, I'm leaving. And guess what? You're going to let me leave. And you're going to write me a check for $100,000 right now, or I'm going to come out with all of the things I'm aware about your law practice that you're not doing properly because I'm your wife and I'm not an idiot, obviously, because you see how she can handle herself like a deposition, and with Andy at the reunion, which isn't easy with like 100 crew members around her. So like all she had to do was pull out that Sutton threat, but on Tom.
Yeah, like I mean,
I just don't get it. Something else. He had something on her. That's what it is.
Or it's the fact that you really loved him, and the fact that this marriage is a sham to hide assets, and you're just trying to play up a storyline. Because are you really going to say, oh, look, I've been saying that he had Alzheimer's, and now it's coming out in the court cases that he had Alzheimer's. girl, please. Really? Okay, like if you talked about maybe that he had Alzheimer's, maybe even literally last season, if you even talked about, hey, Tom's really getting older and slowing down. Like maybe I think that
Yes. Why is it
right,
coming out of nowhere? And PK, just to say it, Tom was a master manipulator. Do you know what it would take to score a master manipulator as a woman? You would have to be like the grand master manipulator.
yeah.
Because in order to land a master manipulator, you have to outplay the game. Otherwise, they
Hmm.
just sleep with you and dump you in Beverly
Yep.
Hills, especially if you're a waitress at Chasen's. Just saying.
That's still the funniest thing to me.
See there.
That's
I didn't, sorry, I'm like blind. I'm just randomly. I
I
love
know.
all of you.
Yeah.
I hope you guys know that. I don't even. I love the super stickers, but I don't do money. I try to have everybody have fun on here. I kind of think of it as like a Vegas nightclub, and you know
Like
how much we
it's like a
enjoy
block
seeing our
party,
text
yeah.
messages on the board.
Yeah. Like, and I just, as I'm literally looking at this woman burn up in flames, and now I advise everyone, if you have not seen her TED Talk,
Oh, I
like,
saw it.
please watch it. It's 16 minutes, and you see this woman truly build a lie, and it crafts itself, and you see that it's kind of the foundation of their relationship before Beverly Hills. Because she was asked to speak at TEDx Pasadena. I think it was right when she joined the show. So she still hadn't, fully told herself as like a person yet. So I really learned a lot about her marriage, and I saw a lot of pictures before, like, the whole Beverly Hills, the Real Housewives took into effect. So when she's talking about her marriage, she's talking about her husband, and I truly see the fact that, like, and you compare it to the way she's talking about him now, what she says just doesn't match up. Like, and I know that, like, of course, maybe you could argue that she was covering up something. You can't argue the way that she was speaking and the way that she was moving in her demeanor and her body language. It wasn't, he's provided so much for my son. He's provided so much, for me. And it's like he's truly been my rock, my soul, he's like my, my greatest person ever. And she said it literally 72 hours before she filed for divorce. I would like to thank the Bravo editor in that editing bay who put the literal hours between, oh, I love Tom so much, to, hey girls, I'm filing for divorce, and the weirdest text message ever. Like, and I don't, Dana, do you, like, that text message was weird. I'm not the only one who was like, oh, like, wow.
I mean, the text message was,
Sorry. That
I
was a
think
lot. Sorry.
she was trying to mitigate what the women would say about her on the show in their like confessionals, and because she knows how it works.
Oh, yeah.
She's so seasoned at this. Erica, I mean, she's really really seasoned at this. I wanna talk about the ring. Do you
Oh,
remember
yeah.
them saying that Andy brought up that you were wearing the Cartier ring on the plane, and she basically, like, Wonder Woman bracelet, she went ding ding and like said, but that jet wasn't mine. Bing bing. I was on my way to Vegas. And she forgot to mention that she was still wearing like a $300,000 ring, right? So
Yeah.
did anyone else go, where the hell is the ring? Hey everyone, where is the $300,000 ring? I wanted Andy to say, like, where's the ring, Erica? Why don't you give the ring up? Because then she would have had to say, well, it's my personal gift to my, that he bought me. And it's like, but I want, no, but why aren't we going there?
Right. And, like, let's really talk about this because, okay, and I would like to point out something. There's a lot of misconceptions with prenups, and I just want to talk about this for a little bit, like a
Sure.
quick second, just to give like a primer that, like, a prenup is something pre-marriage assets. So say you have a house and that, like, the person you're marrying doesn't. They want to move into that house. A prenup basically protects in the case of an event of a divorce that, like, hey, you'll get that house, and, like, you guys won't have to split it 50-50, or any debt that that person has, it goes its separate ways. So say the husband or the other partner has like $50,000 in debt, the other person has $100,000 in no debt, like in cash. A prenup basically states that, like, that person gets to keep their $100,000, the other person gets to keep their $50,000 in debt. So, like, but anything acquired during the course of their marriage, free game. You want that husband to buy you a Birkin bag? That's free game. You want that $200,000 Cartier ring? Free game. You want to buy a home together, marital property, that's free and clear that you guys can fight about in litigation and divorce, not like anything in the prenup. So like I just don't get, she could argue that like the house, like there's so many things that if she left beforehand, she could have argued that were hers and that she could have as real assets. So is she sitting there saying, if she even makes the excuse for the Cartier ring that like, or any piece of jewelry for that matter, or any Birkin or car that she was gifted during the course of their marriage, you could argue that they're really just hers, but even with a prenup, it's marital property. It's also the law firm's property. There's so many different ways that you could group what she got during the course of their marriage. So as she sits there defending the ring that she bought, and I mean, that's really the definition.
Wouldn't you, hold on, just hear me out.
Yep.
Here's like, call me, I don't know, a publicist type person. But like, if I was Erica and I'm making $600,000 on the show this season, I'm going to make maybe 800,000 next season or $1 million, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I just take a dumb Cartier ring that's 300 grand seriously? That really, in truth, like I might sell it for, I won't sell it for the same thing, like 200,000.
Actually, well, something I know because the diamond market, like I'm really into like designer jewelry, like that Cartier ring has a 6-month waiting list, and you take that to Christie's or Sotheby's and their jewelry department, you'll actually make about $25,000 off of it just so that someone can buy it instantaneously.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've had some really ridiculous jewelry in my time, and everyone keeps telling me how they resell it on the market and they flip it. And I listen to Crystal talk about her house purse and how she can make money. I have never in my life made money where I have gone on the up on any giant diamonds, any jewelry, any couture. I have never sold it for more. I have Chanel that I have left out there in the ether and it never moves. It never moves for even a quarter of the price. So I wonder about this mythical unicorn. I know Hermes is like a different thing. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, where is this mythical, like unicorn of people doing this? I would have just given the damn ring to the trustee and said, look at this gesture. Sorry.
Pawn it.
Like, but just, you know what I'm saying? I have to brush my hair, you guys. It's bothering me. So do you understand, Andrew? Like the gesture of just giving up something would have meant so much. And she doesn't need it. Like, how many people make $1 million in a year on a TV
whoever put the $1 million
that you shoot like 5 months?
Ian, thank you for putting the $1 million lollipop holder. But
oh my God. Excuse me. All right. So let me go back. I'm going to, I didn't read it. I should have. So I want you guys to know that the lollipop holder does not belong to me. It belongs to Sugar Factory.
I know.
And I was given it by Sugar Factory to wear on the show. And I was doing that because I knew you guys really enjoyed the kind of like lifestyle porn, we'll call it, stuff. And I didn't want to talk about my friend's abuse. Taylor was being abused by Russell, and I didn't want to out her on the show. So the only thing I thought that I could do to hang on, which didn't work, was to try to talk about like fancy shit. It didn't work either. So like loser all around. But I did you know, 25,000 out of it.
Yeah. I mean, you did get an iconic meme, Dana. And I was talking to someone, so my dad works in PR, like he does political PR, which is a little different than like celebrity PR. But he said the first thing she should have done, she should have went to an auction house and all the jewelry.
Please move that Chanel. It's sitting there like a dud. Okay, go ahead.
We'll talk afterwards, Dana, about that. But and he said she should have went with an auction house and all the jewelry that Tom gifted her. Because realistically, I'm sorry, you don't need diamonds. Like I'm sorry, I know this sounds bad, but like you don't need the massive diamond studs. You don't need the rings. You really don't need that to live. So, I mean, those victims really need that money. So I think that and he said she should have had a charity auction at one of those big auctions, like one of the big auction houses where they would have gladly done it. It could have been very public, first of all.
That's what I'm saying. She could have used it as a way to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to keep some things, but not all. I'm going to give this big ring. I don't need a 3. Who the hell needs that ugly ring anyway? I'm sorry. I don't know who's on the waiting list. It's this big bulky cat head thing. It's not dainty. It's not elegant. It's just like gaudy. And yeah,
It's very
like,
nouveau riche.
you know,
It's
what
very
I
nouveau.
mean, listen, I'm not, I just think it's ugly. I'm just sorry, Cartier.
You're talking to someone whose jewelry taste is like Mikimoto, so yeah, I get what you're
I like,
saying.
you know what I would love? Like a pink diamond that's like, you
Yeah.
can't have a big one that's just really dainty and you've like a pink diamond and that's it. Call it a day. One of the last Mohicans.
I'm a Harry Winston, Mikimoto kind of jewelry person, so yeah.
Max. Hilarious.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so no, it's fine. And we keep just looking at like all of these women and like again, jewelry auction, and it's also the best revenge. Like you guys all watch Sex and the City. Please tell me you all watch the Sex and the City movie. And it was like they have that at the beginning of the movie, they have like, the very public girlfriend auction at Christie's or that I think it was Christie's or Sotheby's. And she could have done the same thing. It's great revenge, first of all. You could have shown empathy and compassion. And like it would have raised good money. And it's also because it would be to help fund the victims of Tom Girardi. Like, I don't know.
No, something's wrong with her. She doesn't function properly. Like the way she is mean and like she doesn't say, I'm sorry. How about this? Like I say this every show, I'm sorry. I know. But like, why can't she just have her lawyer create a statement that says, I am not Tom Girardi. I am and was his wife for 20 years. Unbeknownst to me, this occurred. I feel terrible for the victims. I will do my best to work within the procedure to help some of you be made whole. And you have my apology. And let people, if you shit on you, okay, they shit on you, but you said it, you did it, you put it.
Wait, Dana, I'm so sorry to ask. Was that hard for you to say? Was that hard for you to say?
No, it's so easy for me to say. I'm not even her.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, guys, look
What?
at that! It was so easy. It was so easy for her to say, "Wow, Erica." Now that was a really good one, Erica. You should, if you decide to use that, make sure you pay Dana because that would cost it.
I'm just saying, there's no liability in that comment.
No,
I mean,
there's none.
No liability.
Oh, okay. You feel something for these people, God.
Okay, I want to talk about something else I noticed. Are you ready? You're gonna love. You're gonna love. You know how I do this.
Yeah.
You know how I do this. Okay. So I noticed something I didn't notice last week. I noticed that Erica was wearing a cross diamond. Did you notice that?
Oh, yes. And I'm so sorry. Someone who just posted something really mean about me.
What?
Let me just say.
Wait, what happened?
Hi. We're going to address this really
quickly. Oh my God.
Thank
you. Will you please address this? I feel like I get these secret DMs about like your age and Cheryl. And I'm like, he's 18.
I literally, when I see these people, first of all, Cheryl knew my age when I started. And it was because there was also another situation going on at the time that someone didn't really like at that time.
Wait, what happened? What is this drama? Really quick. And Cheryl hates me, so I don't care. Like, fuck her.
Let me just say that like me and Cheryl are good now. I'm always.
She hates me, so.
Yeah, if I do something, I just want to like, and I'm so sorry, this doesn't have anything to do with drama, but there was another issue with another friend of Dana's, Up and Adam, and there was an issue with that, and me and her were working on a contract. It didn't really work out at that time. So, and it was just kind of an easy way just to dissolve it and it kind of end it and just kind of end two things at once. Cheryl knew my age from the get-go, and of course we just kind of, and it was just easy at that point. So I never lie about my age. I'll just put that out there.
Okay. And listen, can you talk to Cheryl and find out why she's mean to me? What's her problem? I want you to ask her. Seriously. What is it?
I think one day
is she upset that she wasn't on the show or something? Like, is that what it is? No. She doesn't want anyone from like the show to go and talk her gossip or what?
Oh, no. I think she was just angry because I think you said something that like she needed to apologize to someone or something.
I did. I said she needed to apologize to Up and Adam.
Yeah. She got mad at that.
Because she
not mad,
she attacked him. So I was like, listen, why don't you apologize to Adam? Adam is like the nicest, most relaxed dude. Like the
Yeah.
fact that, and I heard she was pretty mean to him. So I was like, I kind of was like, why don't you apologize? I apologize all the time. I listen here. What am I drinking tonight, everyone? You see that lipstick mark? This is Zach's wine. Okay.
Oh,
Now I was, he went on his podcast and he bashed me like 2 weeks ago. Um, I'm not going to get into the whole thing why, but I didn't agree with what he said. But he did send me after the second request his free rosé. And because I care about entrepreneurs, whether they are, don't like me or not, I'm drinking it on my little live tonight to hopefully have you guys notice that it's Zach's rosé that he sent me for free to help him in his business. I doubt any of the other promo guys that he sent it to did that. Okay. And he bashed me and I still did it. I did on principle. And I'll buy the next one because he was upset that I didn't buy the first one, although he offered it free. But it's okay. I get it. You're a small business and I want to help you. So I will buy it. It's not bad.
yeah.
I like it.
Well,
But that's my
and
point.
yeah. And enough of that, all that fun stuff. Let's get back to the reunion. But yeah, sorry. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm glad I got off my chest.
I know.
It's sort of like a reunion about Cheryl, but without Cheryl being here. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway,
and again, there's nothing wrong. We're all on. I'm on good
well,
terms.
I'm not, but okay, you are.
Yeah,
I'm glad
sorry.
you are because I love you, and you're
Yeah.
all that matters. Actually, I'm used to being attacked. Okay, diamond cross necklace. Why do you think she suddenly broke out religion?
Oh, okay. This goes back to something that Ramona did in season 1 that she was kind of hiding behind the religious facade. Her and Mario in season 1 of the Real Housewives of New York, they were kind of hiding behind this very religious facade. And it's at the end of the day that she's trying to make herself seem more like, oh, I'm just a good Catholic girl. Look at me. I was married to, a man who was trying to do something good. I mean, so I just think it's a faux religious front. And I can't handle that. I'm sorry. You're going to sit there and say that you're lapsed Catholic, you're this, you're that, while your husband's being accused of what? Like, he should be tried in The Hague or like in NATO for crimes against humanity, like in the United Nations. My God.
Well, I thought it was actually her cross was maybe because she was scared because she was going on the reunion. I thought maybe she was scared and like, she might overspeak and she wanted religious protection. I really mean that. Like if you're religious, yeah, like maybe she was looking for protection on the show. Like she was worried about the reunion. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I mean, who knows at this moment?
No. Do you think she's religious?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think that woman would sell her own mother down the river for an oriental carpet. Sorry. But that's just me. And also something else in this reunion. Now I want to talk about the most irrelevant person on this season who actually, should have been fired and who should be fired. And there's rumors saying whether she's not or whether she's coming back or not. But that's Doritos. Yeah, I call her Doritos.
Oh my God. Do you know what I found out? I'm going to share this with you. So I found out that Dorit is a Hebrew name. And so when I was making fun of it all those times, Doritos, that I actually was offending people. So I stopped using that. I'm just telling you because I felt like, oh God, I'm sorry.
I know.
Well, I'm just calling it the name. I thought it was a weird name. Okay.
I call her Doritos because I feel that it's disingenuous to call her by Dorit. Yeah, well, that's just my opinion.
I love it. Be you, Andrew. Be you. Okay.
And then, like this episode, she's like, "Am I boring you? I'm so long-winded." I'm literally just looking at this, and like I'm watching this, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm literally so bored." And Andy yawned. Like this man is sitting there, and he's like having to gulp this yawn, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not yawning for that." Like, of course you are.
That was hilarious. Dorit, I think she really hasn't brought a lot in a while, right? So
I would argue that she didn't even bring Lucy the Puppygate thing. I'm going to be honest. I don't even think that she brought it for Puppygate. I think that like Lucy Apple Juicy brought it more. Like they should have gave Lucy Apple Juicy a diamond instead of, what Dorit was. And then her constant shameless plugs of Beverly Beach and all this stupid stuff that she's doing. And we're going to all casually ignore the fact. And I'm going to be honest, if Erica turned around, and this would have been my one redeeming thing for Erica if she did this season, if she turned around and said, "Isn't your husband a crook too?" So like what? Like I
Yeah.
hope she.
Yeah. I know what you're
Why
saying.
did
That's really interesting that you said that, actually. I like
like
that.
why didn't you just turn around and say, "Oh, your husband's a crook"? Like you're gonna accuse my husband. You and your husband laughed there as like they as you heard about that. Like what? Like no, come on.
Well, I'm going to say I struggle with Dorit this season. I found her really not bringing anything to the table at all. And I think something's really, if I was a producer looking at the show, I would say that there's a phenomena happening. I really like when there are a lot of genuine friends on the show hanging out, but it's gone to the point where everybody's so scared to upset each other
Yeah.
that there's really no show. Like, so if we took Erica out of the season, right, there is no show this season because, except for Garcelle, she brought it. She did a really good job of being still like a challenging
That's
player, but also like
being
a
a
friend.
friend.
But like Kyle, Dorit, and who else? Like Kyle, Dorit, Kathy. Like it just was. They're too like Lisa and Erica. They're like afraid to upset each other. So like there's no show. Like I don't even know. Like attack somebody. Like pick somebody in the group you can attack. I was like, Kyle, pick somebody.
Right? Like sit there
You
and be
can't
like,
be
"Oh my
friends
God."
with everybody, or there's no show.
Right? Like, are we just gonna really be talking about, oh, it's all Erica? No, literally, Kyle, literally turn around and say, "Crystal, you're fake." Like, I'm so sorry. Is it really hard to make like a fake storyline midway through the reunion? Just turn around and say, "Crystal, you're fake," or something like that. Like, is it really hard to say, "Oh my God, you're so fake. Shut up." Like, make
No,
some
I
shade or
agree with
something.
you. I think they've gotten so close that they actually can't do the show anymore. Like you've got to
Right?
like I always say like it's hard for me to believe like Kyle, as seasoned as she is, she should know better. You have to keep like two people enemies on the show or there's no attack. You don't get
I know.
close to everybody.
I know. Well, and you could argue that Kyle really didn't
Kyle
pick on.
definitely picked on Sutton because she's new. That's why.
Yeah.
But Sutton's also the richest one. I just did a YouTube about how rich
Much
Sutton
money.
is and
Sutton is
and her
really.
divorce. She is so rich. She could buy all these women like 5 times over. So I
I
just want
know.
you guys to know.
And
Go watch it
I
if you
want to.
haven't. I did a really good informational
That's
video
something.
on it.
And like I know you might say that, oh, Sutton doesn't really look that rich because Sutton, she's not just preserving her money for her, she's preserving it for her great grandkids. If you noticed, and that's the way. So yes, she has some really nice stuff. She could afford to buy a much nicer house.
Way nicer. She's totally like, I think she's
No,
very conservative with the money she has.
and that's really smart because like you look at that, and I'm sorry, Lisa Renna. I mean, you look at the fact that house has been mortgaged how many times? Like, let's talk about that really quickly. Lisa Renna and her dating Scott Disick. And
Oh
like, I
yeah,
know they,
that's a good point. Let's talk about it.
okay, first of all, you were happy because you and your social climbing family, because I'm sorry, that family is a social climbing family. Don't tell me otherwise. You were so happy when you found out that she was dating Scott Disick, but you had to put on a concerned mother front so that you wouldn't look like that you were basically matchmaking this creepy match in hell. Sorry. Like it was so
Well,
weird. And
yeah, it
she was,
was. Yeah, go
and
ahead.
look at how Andy carefully avoided the terms. Renna is friends with, or was friends with, what's her face, Kris Jenner. They were friends at one point.
Well, Lisa Renna, I mean, I know that Lisa Renna and I got in a fight on our DMs, right?
Yes, I
And
did.
yeah, I told you about it. And the way, I kind of came for Lisa because I felt like she should have just said like, I don't stand for Scott Disick with my daughter. Like my daughter, I can't stop her from doing what she wants to do, but I don't I don't respect that relationship necessarily. I support my daughter, but I don't like it, right? Like, and Lisa got really upset. And at some point, she called me, I think, the most thirstiest person in the world. I mentioned this last week. Sorry if this is repetitive. But the point is that I think she was very conscious, Lisa, about how the fans were taking her daughter dating Scott. And initially, I think she thought it was a good thing to be associated with the Kardashians, but then I think it backfired on her. And then I think Lisa will put fame above her friendships. And I think she basically was like, in this case, the Kardashians don't work for us. So we're going to turn it around,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Does anyone know why Drake follows Lisa, really? Because I couldn't figure that out.
Oh, I just think because maybe he was like a soap opera fan, but like, let's just be like,
Oh, okay.
that's what I think. I just think also like, so like, I also don't think Drake runs his own social media account, obviously. So that I think, and it was just kind of like, okay, let's just follow these people. Oh, she's kind of relevant. She has like how many followers? I don't know. So let's just put her on there. They curate people to follow,
I was just wondering. I was like, and then Kyle gets like in her bikini.
Ooh, does that like, and I like how we've simultaneously all shut up talking about Maurizio's infidelity rumors. Like, I love how we just all shut up that talk. Like,
No
there's
one
no
brings
rumor.
it up. It's really strange. I mean, they did, but hey, do you think that Doogie sounds like Dookie?
Yes.
Because Dookie is shit. And I was like, and I was like, are your sisters calling you poopy? Because Dookie and Doogie are very similar. It sounds like, Kathy gets things wrong, Andrew, and she says things a little off. I was like, do you think that they've been calling her Dookie for years and like it just became Doogie?
Oh my God, I swear to God.
Dookie is poop, right?
Yeah. I was literally I'm watching this reunion episode and I was thinking, oh my God. And you know what? Okay, the one thing I'm going to be honest, can I tell you the thing I'm most excited about to like watch on this reunion is literally the fight between Sutton and Lisa Rinna. Basically, Sutton calling Lisa Rinna's daughter trash because like when she said, oh, maybe the girl should have a play date because they're the same age. Like, I'm so sorry. Your daughter, Amelia Hamlin, I'm so sorry. This may be so mean, you guys. This may
Go
be
for it,
classes,
Andrew.
Stephanie.
We're ready.
This may be classes, but hear me out. Lisa Rinna's daughter is nothing but the trailer trash that Lisa Rinna grew up a couple blocks from. That you can't erase that, unfortunately. But then you can't erase that. But Sutton's daughter is at William and Mary in a sorority. William and Mary is a very prestigious school. It's a very good school. But Lisa Rinna's daughter isn't in school at all. She didn't achieve for higher education in college. She obviously could afford it, because she was doing modeling and whatever that was. Well, Sutton's daughter is majoring in French, which is basically an MRS degree. So
and Sutton makes, so you guys, just to let the cat out of the bag, you should really watch the video because it's like I do the proper presentation that I like to do.
Yeah.
But she gets $300,000 a month in alimony plus more, additional. And then she also owns a percentage of shares in multiple companies, like I want to say 12. Oh, we lost Andrew. Oh my goodness. Andrew, where'd you go? I bet you his computer died. He'll come back. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Let me let him back in.
I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened.
I said he went and disappeared.
I know. I'm so sorry. No, I'm sorry. I did not mean to leave. Sorry. But yeah, I mean.
By the way, I love your Washington. You're like in DC, right? Or Potomac.
This is Potomac. This is actually from the 2005 inauguration when my parents went of George H.W. Bush's the inauguration blanket when my parents went.
I'm coming to DC on November for Veterans Day.
Oh my goodness, we'll absolutely have to meet up.
You want to see me? If we could
oh
hang
my goodness,
out.
yes. And I'll take you to all the good shopping spots.
I would well, listen. I'm not that much into shopping, but I would like to go to the monuments with you.
Well, I used to do, now this is a little tip. If you
I'm
guys
not
ever,
into shopping anymore, unfortunately.
this summer, I gave tours at the National Gallery of Art. So if anybody ever needs a tour at the National Gallery of Art,
I
let me
want to
know.
go. I want to go. I like that stuff. I'm
Oh,
really into it. So, and
oh,
my
I'm,
son, I want to take him to everything and go through the
oh, I'm,
history with
oh,
him.
I'm so good at that. Please. Like, okay. Sorry, I'm literally I'm planning Dana's vacation here at this moment
Please
as we
do.
speak.
What can we
But yeah,
crash while we're there, like some Washington dinner? I would be a good politician's wife, sort of.
yeah, yeah. But
Sort of. With a pardon, I would be a great.
yeah, yeah.
Does anyone know Biden? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. What else do we have to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about? This was kind of like it wasn't as
This was like such a boring
amazing
episode. I'm
this.
gonna be.
Yeah, it was kind of sleepy this one.
Oh,
Harry Hamlin sauce. Do we
oh
think we should sell it in the markets?
no. But you know what I do think we should do? Find out
I
Harry
wish
Hamlin's gay or
Heather, hold on
what?
really quick. Heather, she has not reached out. I made the peace bag, but no reach out from Heather,
And I would,
unfortunately. You know what went down in the Patreon. You guys know it's very sad for me.
Harry Hamlin, I think what we should talk about is Harry Hamlin's gay lover. That's what I think we should be talking about. And in
Okay, so
fact,
well, I got sent a picture of his purported Patricia in Canada. So I
oh yeah,
now know who everybody thinks in Canada his Patricia girl is. They sent me her everything. So
yeah,
I'm going to post it in the Patreon tomorrow, Andrew. So you're in there, you can get it.
yeah. Like let's just. I'm sorry. We're really gonna tell me that, and I know this is bad to generalize, but a man who is that into tablescapes and painting his nails and homemaking stuff, we're really gonna pretend that that man is straight as an arrow. Okay, okay. Hmm.
No, Harry Hamlin.
Yeah, we're really gonna pretend that that man who's
He's,
that
I
into
think
like,
he's, yeah, I think he does whatever he wants. I think he's
yeah,
sort of just sexual. I mean, he ran a brothel, right?
I
So
know.
you and I did it. Didn't we cover that in our episode on Dishing Drama Dana?
We
One of
talked
the
about him
earlier ones?
briefly. No, I think we talked about. No, I talked about him in the 60s. Wait, I think, wait, did I talk about the Mad Men assistant with you?
No, tell me about the
Oh,
Mad Men PA. I mean, we talked about, like we
oh, there
debunked
was a
one
Mad.
of the rumors,
Oh yeah,
like
there was
that
a
he
Mad Men
abused
PA.
someone. That was a debunk. We did prove he was a brothel. He did a brothel. We we went over the Patricia rumor, but we didn't know who she was. But now I do, which I'm posting tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then, okay, go ahead.
But basically, what I found out is a production assistant when I was on Cheryl's World, someone came to me who was a former production assistant on Mad Men, and basically said, "Hey, I was like orchestrated getting Harry's gay lover into the
Wait,
said
what?
Mad Men."
You
Yeah,
wait. I just tuned out and then tuned back in. So you said that
the
some person said,
production assistant for Mad Men orchestrated like getting Harry Hamlin's gay lover into the set of Mad Men so that they could like see each other.
"Oh my God, that's
Uh,
so good."
Allegedly, everyone, allegedly, because I really let's not be sued.
We're not on the Patreon right now, Andrew. You have to be careful.
Allegedly, well, I don't know. Allegedly, this all happened. Allegedly, this
Oh
person
my
came
God, I love you so much. See, Andrew's used to talking to me on the Patreon. Okay. We have
We
everybody who
really,
knows, we have like 500 people that keep secrets in the Patreon. Okay.
I
Because
know.
otherwise it wouldn't still go.
We don't kiss and tell on the Patreon.
Yeah, we don't kiss and tell on the Patreon. It's a very secret place. So yeah.
But
Oh
yeah,
my goodness. So a brothel. He did. He ran a brothel. Kingy. Hi, Kingy. I'm gonna get into the code red. I got it. So Kingy's has like a whole bunch of stuff about code red. He went to one of the schools like Paris Hilton went to. So he
yeah.
knows all about this. And he sent me a bunch of really cool legal documents to read, but I haven't gotten into it. So Kingy, I'm on it tomorrow. I know I'm behind. I got sent so much gossip, including Harry Hamlin's Patricia. So, I mean, I had to do that first, but I'm on this. I'm on it.
And then also, can we talk about how like, and then also like, can we talk about how like weird the rumor is? The fact that like Lisa's like keeps mentioning how like her sexual prowess towards Harry Hamlin. Like, I'm so
What do you
sorry.
mean her sexual prowess? Like her giving you a good blowjob? You're so like
Yeah.
very elegant in how you said that.
Oh my goodness. Maybe I'm
That
just
was
too
so
much of a prude.
elegant.
Maybe I'm just too much of a prude, but like
No, that
it's
was
just like
ridiculous.
but maybe I'm just too much of a prude. But she was just like, "Oh yeah, I give like the best, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, woman, you've got daughters, and soon you'll have grandchildren with the way your children are reproducing, well, procreating, I should say. So like, calm down. Like, I mean, I don't want to say, I know this sounds really bad, but like, you're on national television. Close your legs, or well, close your lips, I should say. Like, that may sound like I'm putting feminism back
They're
50
too
years.
big. I feel like the lip kit has made her a little bit like she must be like when she goes into makeup, she's like, you need to make my lips look so big that people buy my lip kit. But it's
Well,
like
you know what
I
I
looked at
noticed?
her tonight, she was
I
really
know.
close up and it was like her line was like way like up to her nostril. And I was like, lady, your lip line is way, yeah. I mean, I did a TV special recently, and the guy was like, I'm going to add a little line on your lip to make them a little bigger. And I was like, okay, cool. But I mean, hers are like,
Well, I had a friend point out who's like, she works in the beauty industry, and she's like, because she had the implant put in. So
yeah.
she had the lip implant put in, and what actually is what makes the lips so big is the fact that it's scarred over. So that's what really makes the lips look
So you think
so
she had the
freaking
same
big.
problem as Taylor Armstrong, a lip
Yeah,
implant?
yeah,
Wow. I didn't know that.
yeah.
How come do you think she dances so much on TikTok, like in her underwear and stuff?
I
What do you think that's about?
I literally don't know. Like, okay, that's the thing. Like, I was just talking about like my dance. Like, you're never gonna see a video of like me on ballet, like me doing ballet on my Instagram. Like, I'm
You guys
sorry.
know Andrew does ballet. I love it. It's so cute.
I've been for not
I
gonna like
love
say
it.
that I'm not
I
good.
will go to see Sugar Fair. What is it? The Sugar Fairy, the
The
Christmas one.
Nutcracker, the
Yeah,
Nutcracker, Tchaikovsky. Well, it's Blanchette's Nutcracker. Yeah, typically,
yeah, I
but
know.
yeah. And I was just literally looking at that, and whenever we talk about Lisa Rinna dancing, it's to cover up something. When someone posts something on the internet like that, it's to cover up for something, for people to say, "Oh, you have such a great body," while we constantly hear about the eating disorder rumors, while we constantly, hear about all these things that your husband's cheating on you. Of course, that's what you're going to do after your husband cheats on you. I know that sounds really bad. I know that sounds really bad. Like, if you hear that your husband cheats on you, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to post a picture in a bikini and you're going to show dancing, working your abs.
Did Trump really say that Lisa screwed her lips on The Apprentice? That's hilarious.
I mean, uh,
I would find them very distracting. I found Taylor's lips very distracting. That was a little shady. Oh, I have a video. Sammy, who's on the show like you
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
So Taylor did a video for Sammy, and Sammy was like, "You will not believe this video," and she sent it to me. So we're gonna play it on the Patreon. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna really, yeah, it's something.
And like, and then also like Garcelle, I think and also the race conversation with Dorit basically saying, oh, that
Oh
like,
yeah, that was true. What did you think of that? And Garcelle, we haven't talked much about Crystal didn't say anything this reunion.
yeah, that
What'd
girl
she
was just
say?
like, nothing. She was like, oh, I agree with you. Like, I think,
I
well,
think
we
she's
also know,
fired, is what I think.
well, I know. I'm really hoping it's going to be a one season wonder. You know what? You know what I was most happy about in this reunion? When Carlton was mentioned. Like, I don't know what it
I like
is.
Carlton weirdly.
I do too. I'm gonna put a curse on your penis, Maurizio. That's literally all I remember that woman for. But I love her. I love her dearly. Carlton, if you're watching this, please send me a DM on Instagram at Andrew's Lifestyle, or I follow you, because I'd love to reach out with you and we can maybe connect on having a spiritual level. Um but
Yes, you
back
could
to
be a witch, a Washington witch.
no, but back to like Dorit, by basically saying, oh, oh, we have black people that take care of our children, or like, all that stuff, that like all of these people are different colors and building this relationship that, of course only people of color can be the help, or like be house domestic staffing. And I was just so angry by that, because I mean, no, you can't think that way, Dorit. Like, you just suck your, like, it's a prime example of not thinking before you speak. And like, the thing is, when you're on reality television, and it's not like she can't have the excuse that, oh, we were in the middle of a fight. You were sitting at a dinner table. You chose to literally pop your mouth open. You literally chose to say to Garcelle and try to connect with her and try to form a connection. And that's what you chose to say. You were sitting at a table and thinking about this on vacation. There was literally nothing else on your mind but besides, oh, should I get a spa treatment today? But like, I don't know. Like there was
Well,
nothing
I
else
thought
on.
that she was actually more agendaed than that. I believe that Kyle said we have to take Garcelle out because she's too popular and she's, she's coming for someone's spot. Like, and whenever Kyle is intimidated by another cast member, she'll like use other cast members to try to take the person out.
Yeah.
And I think she probably challenged Dorit to take on Garcelle. Maybe pitting them up against each other, like Garcelle said this about you, right? And then Dorit felt like she was obligated to come for Garcelle, and she couldn't come up with much because Garcelle's really good at, she's been in entertainment for like 30 years. She's so well trained. She knows how to handle herself, like in, heated interviews and memorize. And she's so good that Dorit like really struggled to take her out. And I think that was another moment of that, where she just, it fell flat.
Oh yeah. I was literally just like, and that
Wait,
brings up
really
a really
quickly,
good.
look at that right there so then I can continue, but check that out.
I definitely think so because she is in Laguna Beach now, and I definitely think that like, I think Taylor could be good friends with Heather Dubrow in my opinion.
Okay, interesting.
I wouldn't put it past them, but I also don't think that like Bravo won't mix franchises because I know that for a fact because I had a friend Mary Amons who's on the Real Housewives of DC. Lovely girl. If you guys don't follow her on Instagram, she's really nice. She does interior design now, but she was on the first season of DC, and then when they rebooted Potomac, I mean, she's friends. She was like friends with Robin, and I think that they could have absolutely casted Mary on one season of Potomac, and they didn't. And I thought that
they used to have a rule. This was an actual rule that you couldn't go from one franchise to another, no matter who you were. Nene Leakes was going to move to Beverly Hills, and they were like, she was like, they will not put me on Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
So that was a rule. Now they're starting to do mashups, which has been like Andy's had this kind of secret agenda for years. So I wonder if out of desperation now, because they're trying to like keep everything, because let's face it, all the ratings have been crap.
Shit. I'm sorry.
Right. No, okay. So I think maybe out of desperation, he's like, we have to bring like maybe some mashups across different, not, stop it. And I mean, it could make sense that she could go on the OC if she does an okay job on this mashup. Maybe that's a test, right? How do these mashups do? Do people accept them?
I also if we look at the fact that like Bravo as a whole and NBC, and we were just talking about this beforehand, that Watch What Happens Live is on the deep decline, and that it's probably going to be canceled after the season because the one thing is Watch What Happens Live is not seen as an actual late night show. Like, I would like to point that out there. It's not the Tonight Show. It's not on it's very low level down press tours. Like, if it's on a press tour, say Amy Schumer has a new book out or she's in a new movie, Watch What Happens Live is pretty much bottom of the barrel for like a nightly interview. Like, they would they would rather do the late night show with James Corden.
I heard that they might cancel his show. Well, all the ratings have been down. Even Beverly Hills, they were like, the ratings have never been better. No, the ratings actually are crap, even with Erica Jane's scandal.
They've been better. They've been better than last season, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they were at 1.2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, season 1, 2, and 3, 2 million people.
Yeah.
2 million people. So I'm like, 2 million people is where we started. We're at like 1.2 million now. So it's not that spectacular. I mean, I remember when they were canceling Paris Hilton's show because there was only 500,000 people watching it.
And that was
And
literally what we were
now they're
seeing in
like,
New
well,
York.
we made it to 500,000.
Right? Like, we see that.
They
New
would.
Jersey
New Jersey
would,
would.
they would.
Oh, totally. By the way, I'm starting to like New Jersey better. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting actually alienated from all my franchises. I'm not enjoying Beverly Hills. I'm not enjoying New York. So now I'm in New Jersey basically at this point. And
Yes.
and and New Jersey, Jennifer, her husband cheated on her. That's the rumor. And they're going to cover it in the storyline. I knew it. I knew that proposal was I'm screwing someone at the office who's selling SkinCeuticals.
Yeah. Oh, so Dana, I was just in New York. I think it was like, I was literally in New York, like, I think it was last month or something. And I was at the Russian Tea Room where they filmed the season 1 reunion.
I love the Russian Tea Room. Okay, go ahead.
And you know what the first question I asked was, I literally sat down. I've got this tall Russian waiter. It was like, oh, where did you guys film? Where was the season 1 New York reunion filmed? And they were like, oh, what room was it in? And it's in a big red room. Oh, that's like down there. And they pointed it to me and they were like, oh, thank you so much. That's just the Bravo watcher I am, everybody. The Bravo watcher I am.
Did you have caviar? What the hell are you focusing on the Bravo room and not eating caviar?
Well, I did have caviar. I had the whole Russian afternoon tea. I took photos of them. I think they're on my Instagram.
Serious. We're not wasting that. I'm going to take you out. When I go to DC, I'll take you somewhere nice. Where's the nicest place we could go? And I'll take you. You're kind of like my extended son in a weird way.
Well, let me see. Like, there's a ton of good restaurants, but I'll put you some good restaurants your way.
What do you think? Or like, what about like a hotel that we could go to that has really good food, but is like a scene?
Well, okay, so
we could do something nuts, and they'll be like, "Who are those people?"
Well, there's the Plume in the Mayflower, I believe, but it's closed right now because of COVID. But that's a one-star Michelin.
Stop. I got to answer this really quick.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so David Yontif believes that Jennifer Aydin changed the storyline that she cheated because it was going to impact her husband's reputation, and he's the breadwinner. So the speculation is that she flipped the story that it was her who was cheating to protect the breadwinner of the family, him, but actually it was Bill. And the rumor is it was with people who went into his offices and sold products to his plastic surgeon office, i.e., in particular, speculated to be a SkinCeutical rep. That's the gossip. Okay, so that's why that, and okay. Go ahead.
But yeah, there's some great restaurants in DC. There's a couple, but yeah, we'll get it there. We can have a whole Real Housewife fight.
Oh my God, can we? I'll be like, no, I want to do like the son one. Let's do like, you'll be my son and you'll tell me something like that is very upsetting that like somebody did to you. And you'll be like, someone made fun of my ballet. And I'll be like, what? What? Even fun of your ballet? Those insensitive, tone deaf bitches. And we'll do that. That'll be it. Okay.
Yeah. There's the old Evergirl. Yeah. I'll get you the most old Washington place there is. Yeah.
Ooh, the Ritz. See the Ritz.
The Ritz. Okay. Well, the problem is the Ritz and the Four Seasons were built in like the 90s. So they're like very ugly buildings.
Is it ugly?
Like, oh my God, they're so ugly. Like half the architecture in DC was built in like, so you've got the beautiful row houses that like date back to like the 1920s. And then you have like the Watergate complex, which is like 60s and 70s, like that's been turned. And then there's the Ritz-Carlton waterfront. They're just all ugly buildings, but. Yeah.
Listen, my most favorite place that I'm excited to go to is Lincoln's Memorial. I'm a huge Lincoln fan. I studied poli-sci and I loved Lincoln.
Well, yeah, what a lot of people don't know is you can actually walk behind the memorial and you can take really good photos there. And it's really pretty at sunset. Yeah, you can walk behind the memorial.
Okay,
but back to the Real Housewives. I'm so sorry. We're probably all boring you with.
No, but I don't really. At this point, it's like we've been on here for like 2 hours. Like, why don't we just move in together and hang like all night, like a sleepover party?
Oh my goodness, I love that idea. But yeah, my goodness,
There's really nothing else to say because like there wasn't much
because this
more to the
episode is
show.
so boring. This
It's
episode is
really,
so boring.
this was the kind of a sleeper, this one tonight. You're right. And
I was literally
I'm
watching
sorry
it.
this was ours, but at least we spiced it up with other
I
stuff.
I know. And then also, you guys, I did some deep dive into the Steve Lodge thing.
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Talk about it because I did too. So I'm
God,
dying.
well, I heard when he was a police officer, when he was like a police chief, there was like a ton like shit that he like looked over that wasn't okay. Like he like did a lot of really bad stuff. Like as police officer,
Are you, how old are you, Andrew? Say it.
16, which is
Okay.
fully legal. I can have a job and I also have a driver's license.
Okay.
So.
Okay. He's 16, but we're just going to say he's 18. But just so you know, I get his release from his parents.
Yeah, we're all legal. We're all legal
Your
here.
parents sign those releases. That's right. Okay, go ahead.
Every single time. But yeah, like wait, what was I talking about? I'm
We
so
were
sorry.
talking about
Steve Lodge. Oh yeah,
Steve Lodge.
But apparently, so I can't say this word on YouTube, but the M word. There was a girl who was like M word at 16, and like it was like she was, what, you know what I mean? Like it was a murder that was followed. It was like she was an R word, then an M word. You guys are all smart
Okay,
people.
got it. Know what it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
then, like,
he was doing it as a sheriff or whatever, as a police officer.
And he like oversaw it, but because it was one of his friends, he like allegedly
what? Didn't research it properly?
Allegedly just forgave the case. Like it was like just ruled as like like a
Wow. So you think
Jane Doe.
Oh my goodness. I hope you're wrong. And I hope he's, but that was so weird because why did Vicky lie about him cheating?
And let's be honest. Okay. I
What
knew that
was
relationship.
that was weird.
And there was the podcast, like, let's be honest.
He is more mature than I am for sure.
And there was the podcast that she was doing called the Whoop It Up podcast. Like, and she did that with Steve, and then she switched to a new podcast that she didn't do with Steve, which was very clear to me that's when the relationship ended. Sorry, I'm doing the thing with my fingers at the point, like pointing out the relationship.
So what? Wait, hold on. What happened?
She did a podcast with Steve Lodge. Then she made another podcast without Steve, and there was like one that, and she like, there was a brief moment in time where there was rumor that they broke up because they unfollowed each other, but they kept saying that they were fine. I believe the break between the two podcasts is when they really broke up.
What was the date?
I think it was,
because he said December 2020 was when they broke up.
That's it was January, December. And then also,
why did she promote him for governor? Why the hell is he living in Mexico and she's promoting him for governor like 2 months ago? But she cheated and he cheated and
I know this.
Go.
So
me next.
I learned something that part of Vicky's.
You guys better be drinking. He's having soda. Not even. Yes. Did you get water?
Yes, I have water right here. No, I'm fine right now. I have it right
apple juice or anything. Okay.
But and what I found out is, so part of Vicky's PR move and the PR firm that she has, she's represented by an Orange County PR firm that like represents conservative women, really, because Orange County is like the most conservative part of California. And so part of the conservative brand at their set is they need her to be like with someone, so that they can keep representing her, that they can keep selling that idea that she's this conservative, old-fashioned homemaker, this domestic woman. And that's also what she needed to be back on the Real Housewives. Now, I also learned that allegedly Steve was paying Vicky money to use her following get votes in the California recall election.
Why would she suddenly undo that? Because that makes sense to me. I actually was like, did he use Vicky? I said in my video, I did a YouTube video, why did Vicky lie about Steve Lodge or some crap, like, some sensationalized thumbnail. But I guess what I was wondering is like, what would he have done to her that she would undo the good that she did for him? She put him out there for this governorship. You're saying she was compensated for it, speculating, of course. But like, why would she suddenly pull it back and say, no, he's awful?
Because I'm guessing because something must have defaulted. Something must have.
I agree.
Something defaulted. Something must have gone wrong because
Look at, I'm
Dana has
having an herbal refreshment. That was awesome. Alice in Acid Land. I bet you are. Acid Land. The tabs. Okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, and I mean, we see that they both used each other. It was a transactional relationship, and also the fact that Vicky Gundelson, I'm so sorry. Vicky has over like 1 million followers on Instagram, and I just don't know how that's possible.
Vicky has 1 million. Garcelle just celebrated that. So like, and she
But like
has
the
it.
thing is,
Wow.
but the thing is also like Garcelle's likable. Vicky, now keep in mind, I'm a Vicky apologist.
Steve did get really bad votes. He didn't even make it in the book. I posted the
I know.
book on the Patreon and he
I
didn't even get a bio.
It was
Sorry,
so funny.
sorry.
I literally love that man. Like I Steve Lodge just I would literally watch his Instagram lives and I said, wow, this man's middle-age crisis. Instead of buying a Harley, he's running for governor of California. Like that's literally what I was thinking. Like I was
No,
like,
no,
oh my goodness.
totally.
This was his
I just
midlife
want to
crisis.
say to Renee that I did a confessional video on my Patreon about Brittany Murphy. I actually produced her last premiere before she died. So I just want to say that. It's really interesting. You should go listen to it or watch it. I'm just saying, because I'm like, see, I have to be private about how I get that information out there, but you would be really interested in it. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on.
But
Go ahead.
I mean, and I think also I think apparently there was a woman who was going to come out and say that Steve wasn't like the conservative Christian man that she said that like everyone said he was. And I think Vicky was being blackmailed and she just decided that she was going to have control over that situation. Um,
What
and
did
then
you think about him living in Mexico? He's like, I have a place in Mexico. That's where I am right now. And I'm like, but aren't you the governor? Or do you want to be governor of California? Why are you
well,
there?
guess what? I checked out. So he has a
Oh, look at this.
timeshare.
A Friends of All Stars. You could be on this with me.
Oh my goodness, I would love that.
Can you imagine?
That would be great. You could have like all the iconic friends of which have all been on Beverly Hills. So
I
like
would take out I would go after all the fan favorites because there's only one place for me to be at this point, the villain.
I know.
I'm just doing the villain now. I'm just like,
Well,
I'm going villain.
yeah. So he has a timeshare at some, I think it's whatever those timeshare resorts called. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like he has a timeshare at one of those
He
big
doesn't
ones.
own his place. He's a
Yeah,
timeshare in Mexico. That's so lame. It's like $10.
I know.
It's like $10 to buy something. Never mind, a timeshare.
Oh my God, I swear to God. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I know that's so bad. I know.
I know.
I know.
No,
I know.
I'm laughing because it's like, why are you bragging about having a timeshare in Mexico?
I know. I know. I know.
Like, I mean, are you really going to
I watch
discounts?
International
No.
Health Centers.
No. Okay, now I have a quick question, Dana. Have you watched any of the International Housewives?
Okay, everybody keeps telling me to do this. Like they say Australia or whatever is like lethal. They're
You
the best.
have to watch
They are
Melvin.
I heard these girls are like, wow, next level. Australians
actually,
have no filter. They
well,
are
actually, I just
holy
got a
crap.
DM. I actually was DMing Janet literally last night. I can't believe
If Vicky purchased her followers, like I need to do that.
I think she
Seriously.
did because
I can
okay, can I tell you
barely
guys?
get to 18,000 people. Okay. And it's been a long year.
Okay, Vicky Gunvalson allegedly has
Loser.
1.1 million Instagram followers.
Okay.
She has almost 6,000 people liked her most recent Instagram post that was 2 days ago. So let's all do some math. If
Okay.
if 1.1 million people, so that's 1,100,000 people, that's a lot of people. And then she has 648 likes. 648 likes.
Of how many people? Million?
Over millions. Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, no. And then let's go see the next one.
Wait, you should look at the names. Are the names like, are they from America or are they from somewhere else?
They're from America for
Well,
the
then that's a good indicator that they're real.
So those
Because
are for the
usually when you buy
6,000 likes.
followers, you guys want to know a secret?
But the ones that have more likes, the ones that have like 15,000, the ones that have 50,000 likes, we see things with Peruvian flags and stuff like that. So,
okay, well, that's what okay, there you go. I was going to tell a secret.
yeah.
You want to hear a secret?
We're sitting like that Madonna song. Someone got a
Angie, you want a
secret.
secret? So
Yeah.
when I was on Housewives in season 2, and a lot of the women were panicking because their Twitter, because we didn't have other social media back then. We only had Twitter. It just started. And they were freaking out because they didn't have enough Twitter followers and they thought Bravo wouldn't have them back if they didn't have enough Twitter followers. So a bunch of people were buying Twitter followers. And I think Taylor bought like 200,000 Twitter followers. Now, I never bought any because I thought that was really stupid because I'm like, isn't the point that you can influence people? Like, in other
Yeah.
words, if I have 40,000 people, even though I only have 40,000 people, there are people who care about me. And if I
Yeah.
say, hey, let's meet up at McDonald's, they'll want to meet me at McDonald's, right? Or whatever. Maybe let's go bigger. Let's go the Reds. Okay. We're going to the Reds. But
Yeah.
the point is, I know, sorry. The point is that I guess like a lot of people do this to try to make the producers of Bravo think that they're more popular than they are. I never played that game. Now, I heard on Salt Lake City that Lisa Barlow, it's speculated, does this with multiple accounts, and so does Jen Shaw to
Well,
try to make sure she's
Jen
popular.
Shaw blocked me, so I can't
What?
do anything.
Oh
Jen
my
Shaw
God, how
blocked
could
me.
you not tell me that?
Oh my goodness. I
What did
literally
you
looked at
say to
it
her?
one day.
I want to hear everything. Sorry. Okay.
Well, I basically just I would post
Hi,
snippets on YouTube. Like
Jessica.
I
Good to
didn't
see
post
you.
anything on Instagram. I don't tag these women. When I post thumbnails on YouTube, I don't tag these women. I don't do anything. But what I do is link my bio on Instagram. So she must have saw one of the YouTube videos I did, basically calling out her rented life and her leased Mercedes.
But so what? She didn't block me and I did the same thing. So why'd she block you? No, it's something deeper. You need to think
Yeah.
about that.
I
Why?
know because she used to follow me on Instagram. I was literally going one day just to see like, oh, like which housewives still follow me on Instagram. And then I was like looking, oh, Heather follows me. Oh, we're going down all the lists. And then I see like, oh, Jen Shaw doesn't follow me anymore. She blocked me. And I was literally like sitting there and I was like, wow. And then
She's
also,
in big trouble.
and I also want to talk about Jenny, the new girl, is being alleged that she faked her storyline.
Oh
That
yeah, I played the video on the Patreon. Did you see
yeah,
it?
yeah,
I took it just so we didn't lose it.
yeah.
Sometimes
So
I put stuff on the Patreon so we don't lose it.
and so you can just keep track of it because there's so much stuff.
So
But
much stuff, like, and you got to get the golden nuggets and
I
hold
know.
on.
But like also if you've noticed, Jenny is barely like climbing in Instagram followers. Like if you look at it, she only has 11,000 when normally on a well-established show like this, she should be at maybe 50,000 by now.
Well, Jenny's done some things which I don't totally get. She's definitely aligned herself with Jen Shaw and Lisa Barlow in a camp. And
Yeah.
she's attacking Angie Harrington, and she hasn't attacked Heather or Whitney, but in that, like, they have their own little team going.
Yeah.
Jenny recently tried to say like lots of really bad things about stuff that Angie's, about Angie's LGBTQ casino event. And
Well,
she
I
tried to,
learned that
yeah, go ahead.
I learned that I know this is bad, but I learned that Jenny's a Republican. And okay, one thing is, I just want to say here, I don't care if you're
You
a
always get back
Republican.
to politics.
No, maybe it's from being in DC, but like I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat. But what I would just like to point out is the fact that she's a Republican, which most of these women are, like let's be honest. But the thing is she's hiding it because she wants to be on a more because the housewife fan base has turned more campy. Like it's more campy gay men who watch the show now and like 34-year-old like women. So it's that and that's the target demographic on which Bravo is focusing on, not the demographic that like people are actually watching, but it's the demographic they're focusing on. So Jenny's going to be saying all this homophobic stuff or anti-LGBTQ, whatever you want to call
No,
it.
but she actually did the reverse. She said this is okay. This is now you're dragging it out of me. So what happened was Jenny went and attacked Angie for being upset that Lisa Barlow affected her catering of her charity event. Now, I found out, which is in a video on YouTube, which you guys should watch because it explains it better. I found out that Jen Shaw had actually sabotaged Angie Harrington's event with Lisa Barlow to upset Angie, like to disrupt that whole world.
Yeah.
But Bravo, it's speculated. I mean, it's not, but I'll say it. Knew and downplayed Jen Shah's role in that on purpose.
Yeah.
So that it would look like Lisa Barlow did it, but it was really Jen and Lisa Barlow who did it. Now, Jenny attacked Angie and said that she felt that Angie was prioritizing Lisa Barlow's attack over the cause, which was LGBTQ children that want to be embraced, which is not true because Angie has a child with her husband that is dealing with this. And the charity's name is Encircle, by the way, if you guys want to donate. So the reality is that there's something going on here. Why would Jenny try to make Angie look bad in a way that she knows isn't true? And why would Lisa and Jen Shah be coupling up to take down Angie? And Angie is Lisa Barlow's friend for over 20 years. So it's like really weird. Now there's another thing I found out, but go ahead.
Well, I just found out that like, I just don't think that Jenny's going to be completely truthful. And like, I like Jenny. Like right now, I think, and here's the thing with the fake storyline for me. Like, a thing with a fake storyline, if this sister wife, that may be a fake storyline, but at least it's a damn interesting fake storyline. Like, honestly, bringing up the fact that your husband wants a sister wife, that's an interesting take. I'll listen to that for like another day. But like, just don't make it the focal point of the season, you know, like Puppygate.
Well, she copied, in my opinion. No, she copied Christine Chu from Bling Empire. It's the exact same Netflix. Hello. I mean, it's the same storyline Christine Chu had, and obviously on one of the #1 shows on Netflix that was in regards to this.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I know.
Not the sister part, but the children part.
Yeah. I definitely think that like the children's storylines have been played out a little bit, but what else? I mean, is there really any other tea? Sorry. I'm just trying to think about, is there anything good that like we're sitting on?
Oh, and Salt Lake City. Let me think. There was something I was going to say. What was it?
My God.
We talked about Angie. We talked about Jen Shah, Lisa Barlow. There was something else. God, isn't that terrible?
Oh, Mary's being a cult leader. I don't know. There's always something about that.
I mean, we always know that. That's been there forever. I'm trying to think.
That girl is so weird.
I did hear some new tea. What was it? It's been so long. I'm like,
I know.
It's time for Wilkie. What was it?
This is, I got a Latin quiz tomorrow.
I know. You're like, I have to go to school.
I got Latin.
Oh my God. Okay. You know what? It's on the Patreon, you guys.
If you guys want to watch it,
but I'm going to tell you the truth. I do have some. I know what it was. Okay. I'll share it. I just remember. You're lucky.
This live is going on so long, everybody. Be thankful.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
Because this is Patreon stuff. But let's just say that Lisa Barlow's attorney and partner, you guys should maybe look into. And if you don't have the time, then tomorrow go on my Patreon and see what I found on him. And you might see a connection between why Lisa Barlow seems to back Jen Shah so much.
Oh my goodness.
Is that a good cliffhanger?
That is a great
cliffhanger on that note?
Let us leave us on there, everyone.
Andrew will be like,
yes.
Andrew's a Patreon member and a star of the Patreon. So
yeah.
All right, you guys. You think that's it, Andrew, or what?
I think we are good. We went in depth on that very, very boring reunion. I'm sorry.
I hope this was better than the reunion. Let's pray.
It's better. Like, guys, actually, if you haven't seen the reunion, do yourself a favor. We basically summed up everything. You don't have to watch the reunion. You can. It's one particularly not interesting. In fact, we're funnier. So. Yeah.
I did an episode with Kim D on the Patreon, and her and I are doing another one in 3 weeks. Just saying. Go ahead, Andrew. Sorry.
But yes, I would like to thank everyone for watching. If you have not, please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with any other housewives
No, but you
watcher.
too. Follow you. Go ahead,
Oh
honey.
yeah,
Give all your
follow
follower
me.
stuff.
Follow me on Andrew's Lifestyle _RH on Instagram. I post a lot of stuff there, like all my receipts, anything that I find there, and then also um, follow me on YouTube. I try to do recaps. I try to do a lot of stuff. It's pretty good. We talked about Steve Lodge. I have a great interview with Dana, and we talk all about the Housewife and the Hustle documentary and all like the
Oh,
behind the
yeah.
scenes
And who
behind it.
knows? Maybe another one soon.
Oh my goodness, I know. There's some really great stuff on there. So if you guys like me, if you guys saw me on Sherelle's World and like me there, please follow me on YouTube there. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, you guys, listen, we've had, honestly, I had way more fun doing this than watching the show. Andrew, what about you? Is that honest or
Oh,
what?
that's completely honest. I was just waiting for this. Like, and this was way more fun than that new winter house or whatever that's called or
Yeah.
whatever.
And you guys, if you enjoy this, definitely bring your friends that do super stickers because it helps me keep affording to do this. Okay. I'll take your $5.
Or 20. She's not.
Did you know? All right. I love you, Andrew. I will see
Right.
you in DC, love. Okay.
Yes.
Bye,
All right.
guys.
Bye.
Mwah. Good night.
Good night.